I have a lot of complicated feelings about the video that I released yesterday, and I'm going to admit straight up that it contains misinformation. Unintentional misinformation, but misinformation nonetheless, and I'm trying to take accountability for that. I'm going to take the advice of commenters and fellow creators I hold in high regard and do this scripted and off camera rather than off the cuff and in the heat of the moment. The last 72-ish hours have been really bad ones for me. I lost my cool after seeing what I wrongfully believed was a coordinated dogpile against a creator I believe brings a lot of positivity to the TTRPG community. My reactions weren't just because it was this particular creator. I would have felt the same way seeing a mass character assassination against anyone I didn't feel was justified. While there definitely were hit pieces out there in terms of service violations happening, I was absolutely in the wrong about Grim Gym and the idea that this was a more formalized attempt by multiple people to attack a creator. I stand by my convictions that the actions of Diversity in Dragons and Legion of Myth are condemnable and warrant action, but the guilt I've felt about saying what I did about Jim has been eating me alive. Especially after our conversation, which will inevitably be overshadowed by the more sensational drama of the original video. Jim, I was an asshole, and I appreciate you so unbelievably much for taking the time to sit and talk with me after what I said and did. I wasn't owed that, and I think our conversation is honestly one of the best videos on my entire channel. That's a bar some wouldn't say is relatively high anyways, but it means a lot to me. Despite feeling my criticisms for the other creators were valid, I've considered pulling the video multiple times due to this misinformation. Not just about Jim, but about pushing the idea that this was somehow a coordinated political attack by multiple right-wing personalities. However, after asking Jim if he wanted me to pull the video, he requested that I didn't, so the historical context remains. I will wear that mud on my face and take the L here. For some context to the rest of the video, I'm absolutely fine with people having criticism. I get response videos all the time to my takes on the TTRPG world, and I've never advocated for shutting down a channel simply because we disagree. Despite my disgust with Diversity in Dragons' content and views, I don't think even his video in question merits his entire channel being banned. There's plenty of content creators whose politics I disagree with and choose not to watch. So if you rewatch my video, you'll see the only channel I pushed for a ban was Legion of Myth. It was for obsessively attacking and harassing other creators with slurs based off their political belief or identity, all of this which is in violation of YouTube's terms of service. This is the first time in my 4 years of YouTube that I've ever advocated that someone needs a channel banned, and I still believe that's the case for this crew of hate. I'm making this to help give Jim some peace about this situation and try to correct the record. We may not agree on each other's perspectives on all things, but Jim proved to be someone I think is a misunderstood man who holds extremely high standards for anti-censorship. Despite disagreeing with a lot of his opinions, it showed real character for him to be willing to have that talk with me for you all to see here. I encourage you to watch that conversation and give it a like on his channel as well. I also want to say I appreciate those of you who reached out to voice your support and criticism, especially my fellow content creators who respected me enough to reach out and give me the finger wag, if you will. I want you to know that your criticism had an impact, and I'm doing some introspection about how this whole thing went down. I'm going to keep an eye on my reactive tendencies that I've always felt a bit self-critical of when it's too late. I want to get back to making games, and I already feel a sort of self-conscious shift for the better about having just written this script. I want to thank all of you so much for being here and for hearing this one out.